Во понеделникот на 12 овој месец, во рамките на програмата на Скопско лето 2016, во Македонскиот народен театар настапи естрадната група Кармелим од Хаифа, Израел. Присутните во салонот на МНТ покрај театарот Кармелим имаа средба и со израелската поетеса Хава Пинхас Коен, која е професор по литература и уметност на Универзитетот во Ерусалим. Во оваа емисија, почитувани гледачи, проследете го интервјуто со господја Хава Коен, што го снимивме ексклузивно за телевизија Сонце.
Господја Хава Пинхас Коен, дали сте по прв пат во Македонија?
No, it's not my first time. I've been here like 4 times, each time for a different reason, but always it was around poetry.
Познато е дека коренот на вашето семејство е од соседна Бугарија. Дали се уште го чувствувате мирисот на Балканот?
Yeah, I feel very attached to the Balkan. The food is very similar to what my grandmother and my mother used to cook. And the language is very close to what I heard in my childhood. And even the body language of people, the manner of talking, is like my aunts, my uncles of my childhood, like they brought from here something that exists in Israel. And now when I'm coming here, I see where's the source, where the beginning of everything.
Yes. Во рамките на Скопско лето, вашата поетска збирка Песните на Орфеја е првата книга што дојде до мене и за неја ќе разговараме во овој подоцна ќе разговараме во овој разговор. Сега неколку воведни прашања. Вие живеете во Ерусалим, но дали е познато дека Хаифа, градот на портокалите, е лука на музичката култура во Израел, бидејќи е познато дека во тој град се сконцентрирани повеќе емигрантите од поранешните советски републики?
Okay, I'll make an order in the things. I'm living in Jerusalem. This is the capital and the biggest city. And Haifa is in the north. And we have a long, long beach. Along this beach, there are many cities that immigrants, especially from Russia, likes to live there. And they really, just to have an impression, we have about 1 million people from that immigrated from the Soviet Union, old Soviet Union, Russia to Israel, from the 90s till today. That's a lot. And they influenced a lot on our culture. Part of it is that they are taking part in our cultural life in a very influential way. And there is an orchestra, in any orchestra in Israel, in the Philharmonic, in Haifa, in Ashdod, there is the Andalus Orchestra. They are influencing, they are part of it. There are also very well-known composers among them. And also they are involved in poetry, they have their newspapers written in Russian, like 3 or 4, and they are everywhere, we feel them. And yes, they are influencing.
Прочитав дека сте мајка на 4 ќерки. Дали е точно дека еврејските семејства се традиционално многу детни?
I have 4 daughters and I'm very happy for that. I don't know if it's general, but it can be that in my generation, most of my friends have like 3, 4, 5 kids. I think that we are a community that is family-oriented, and having children, it's part of our tradition, part of our identity. If you are speaking about Orthodox and ultra-Orthodox people in Israel, yes, for them it's must. You can't see a family less than 5 kids. Usually there are more.
На која возраст бевте, односно кога прв пат почувствувате дека најдобро се изразувате преку поезијата?
Well, I think the moment I could read and write, I was trying to express myself in writing and in drawings, and I was looking for a different way to express myself, not just to be there, but to say something.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't aware that I'm going to be a poet, but I really wanted to write. That was part of my...
Вашата поезија е преплавена со идентификација на еврејската, тоест јудејската традиција и култура. Дали сметате дека тие вредности се извор и темел на човековата идентификација?
I think, yes, my poetry and my writing is very Jewish. First of all, because of the Hebrew language, which is the language that the Bible was written, and Psalms were written, and this is the best poetry that I know. And if you are part of this culture, that Hebrew is the language, and the Bible is the basic of everything, then you are already into Judaism. But when you are always also like me, live my life as in a kind of awareness of being Jewish and trying to study more and more Judaism, yes, it gets into my writing and enrich it, because I never stays only on one layer or one level. I get into different layers of the language and the different layers of my existence. Just to give you an example, to read, and we have every day we have 2 different dates. We have the regular date, like today is the July 14, okay? You know that and I know that, but you don't know that today is also Dalet Betamuz, which is the Hebrew date, okay? So I always live like I'm aware of the 2 layers of my life and my time, and it means to me differently. And if I also observe holidays that are going along the year, they affect my writing, they affect my knowledge. And yes, it makes depth, and it's very hard to translate.
Колку е точно, односно, дали успеате преку вашите поетски творби да го актуализирате Светото писмо, особено гласовите на јудаизмот во него?
Well, when you're speaking about the holy letters, you mean the Christianity, early Christianity. You mean the New Testament. It's not the Bible, and it's not Judaism, but it's something that comes from Judaism into the Western world, into Christianity. I'm knowledgeable of Christianity. It interests me a lot. And there is a book that I was written, its name is Messiah, Mashiach. And it deals with Yeshua's figure and Yeshua's icon. Who is that man? For me, it is that man. He was born as Jew and he died as Jew. And as a Jew, he gave something to the world that is unbelievable. It went out of the Jewish roots, but became something totally different. And he was not responsible for that. Paulus was responsible for that. And this transformation really interests me.
Што представува за вас она што е одлика на евреите да немаат свој дом, односно Тоа е тоа што е длабоко и неизлечиво екзистенцијално неприпадништво на евреите како народ.
I am the first generation that was born in Israel after the war, after the Second World War. My parents emigrated from Europe, from Bulgaria to Israel. And for me, it was like natural to be Israeli, to be born in Israel. And it took me years to understand how it's natural for me and how it's shaking and not obvious for my parents' generation and for the others. And the more I'm going up, I understand what kind of a miracle is that we are in our generation, that we have a home, that we have a state, that we are responsible to our lives. We don't depend on the others. We are taking care of our place, our country, and of the future generations. That's something that didn't happen for 2,000 years.
Дали тоа значи дека формирањето на државата Израел е конечно решавање на тој екзистенцијален проблем?
The existence of the State of Israel, it's the end of exile in one way, because you can choose now either to live in Israel or outside. It's your choice. It's the first time. But on the other hand, it's the first time that we are taking care of ourselves, having a new law, having army, having government, and it's you can see by political life in Israel that is something that we are learning. We are still learning how to control ourselves, how to take care of ourselves. And there is always a kind of fear that the people, the nations of the world are not accepting us as part of them. It's not obvious for them. They don't accept us as being ruling our lives. For me, sometimes it looks like they want us to be always the victims. When we are not the victims, it's like we are not Jews.
Колку и дали во вашите песни е застапена магијата на плодноста и еротските елементи во неа?
Well, I live my life in erotic way. I feel that everything is erotic around me. If I'm doing my walk in the fields, it's very erotic. If I'm going to the sea, swimming on the sea, it's very erotic. If I'm cooking, it's erotic. So I am not making any difference between anything. Everything is erotic. So if it is in my writing, it is there because I'm there.
Дали во вашите поетски творби инспирацијата традиционално ја барате во историското исконско искуство, поточно прогонството на евреите како библиски народ на вечно патешествие по прогонот од рајската градина?
First of all, I'm not only inspired by the history of my country. I'm also inside the history. I'm aware of it in my life and in my writing, and it affects my biography. My personal biography is connected to the history of my country. And just to give you an impression, I was born in 1955. That was 10 years after the Holocaust. So just now I understand how short time it was. And in the neighborhood, most of the people around us were with numbers. We didn't know what it is. If I would ask my mother, what's this? or why this woman looks different or something, she would say, shh, she's from there. There was an expression. So our childhood was very happy in one way, but on the other hand, there was like shadows around that we didn't know how to interpret as children, but we accepted them. Most of us didn't have any grandmothers or grandfathers, and we didn't know why, but we didn't have. There were no old people around us.
Сега едно прашање што е поврзано со ова што го зборувате. Како го објаснувате фактот дека евреите каде и да се во светот, во која било култура, успеале да останат негибнати во нивната традиција од неминовната асимилација?
First of all, there is assimilation. Always there was assimilation. And that's also part of being Jewish, that you feel that there is a border and always somebody is crossing it this way or that way. But being Jewish means that you are in a community. You always belong to a community, because usually till the end of 19th century, all Jews were praying in a synagogue that if you want to pray, you have to be in 10 people together. So imagine that always you're in a community, and that's part of being together. We have our code, our laws. We eat different. We don't eat. Our kosher food also make a kind of border between the others. Our time along the year is different, and that make a kind of difference that keep us together. And the language. Jews always have, beside the common language with the others, they have their own language, Jewish language. Like here, in Macedonia and in the Balkan, Jews brought with them the language that they spoke in Spain, that was Ladino or Judeo-Espanol. And they were speaking for 500 years here, Ladino. And they were writing it, they were corresponding it, and they spoke also Hebrew. Men, usually Jewish men, always knew, and they spoke among themselves Hebrew. So they kept together.
Дали верувате дека конечно ќе се оствари сонот на добрите луѓе во светот, да завладее добриот и милосрден Бог, а не строгиот и немилосрден библиски татко?
If you ask me a personal question, I believe in God, simply, and I pray also, and I observe. There are many Jewish laws that I observe, and this kind of relationship between individual and God interests me and fills me also, because there is a kind of struggle always, and it comes into my writing. I have also kind of the years that I'm studying almost every day Judaism and Bible. I mean, I'm in a group that we are studying. It's not something religious, it's something cultural. It's part of my cultural and my identity. So there is something that we are struggling within, and but we have the responsibility to our life here, what we are doing, the choices that we are making. So I don't see him as ruling my life or anybody's life. It's our responsibility.
Дали сметате дека луѓето, дали тие процеси се присутни на традиционално немирниот Блиски Исток, односно дали луѓето таму повеќе се слушаат убава музика и читаат добри книги, или пак се гледаат преку нишанот на оружјето?
Middle East, it's a strange neighborhood, and we are, the state of Israel, different from all what is around us. We are Western country by all means. We are Western. We are high-tech country. We are the 5th high-tech country in the world, and we are only 67 years old. So it's a kind of, who are these new guys that came to this neighborhood? Why are they have satellite? Why they have such a high-tech technology? Why they have so many Nobel Prizes? That's something that threats the whole neighborhood. They are still in monarchies, the states around us. They are different because they are Muslims, most of them. And sometimes it looks like fighting against Israel gives content to what's going on. It's good that there will be fight. If there is a fight, they don't deal with other things. Or maybe they enhance their identity. But I'll tell you something that is not so political as I said. When I meet Palestinians or Arab poets in different festivals, it's so easy to communicate. We are so similar. We have, our languages are so close to each other. And they are traditional community and we are traditional community. It's a question of time. And we are working on the base of culture. There is in Israel a festival, Oud Festival, that is for music. And it's amazing how many bands and groups from around us, Arabs, are coming to play, and you'll see the audience, they are feeling it. Mm-hmm. They also influencing the Israeli music. The Israeli music is very influenced by the Arabic rhythm. And I think that in long terms, another 2-3 generations, it will look differently. And I believe the more translations will be from Hebrew to Arabic and from Arabic to Hebrew, it will make the change.
Дали тоа значи дека она што вие по професија сте професор по литература и уметност, сте убедени дека тие две дејности на човекот ќе успеат да го спасат од неговото насилно безумие?
I think that the most we are dealing, teaching, studying and dealing with culture, with poetry, with literature, we became more delicate. We are more aware of the others. And I don't think it will change the world or the human nature, but it will influence individuals to think different, to feel different, and to be aware, to be possible to identify with the other, to understand what's going on to the other person that in front of you. And maybe he has a different color, or a different religion, or he's just different. But only through literature and art you can feel his soul. And I don't see any other way. We have a present.
Yeah. При крајот, каков е вашиот впечаток од сегашниот престой во Македонија?
First of all, I made friends here. And this morning I was visiting the publisher house of Magor. And after 4 days being here, I feel like I made friends and I can imagine about new projects. I'm traveling through this country and listening to the different names like Shtip, Bitola, Ohrid, of course Skopje, etc. These are names that are coming out of my childhood, of people talking about people that came from those places. So it's there is a distance, but there is also something that attracts me very much. And I love this place.
Ви благодарам на ова интервју, госпоѓа Коен, и се надевам дека во некоја друга прилика ќе имаме за што да разговараме во наредното ТВ интервју.
Hvala. Thank you so much, and I hope we'll have another chance, another book, and to continue.
Yes.
Thank you.